Sup, Smurf?
It is I, the car genie.
Why are your arms blue?
Budget.
Okay.
I can give you a car of unlimited power.
Okay. Give me a Bugatti Chiron.
Less than that.
Okay. McLaren P1.
A little bit less than that too.
Okay. ZL1.
More than that.
Cool. I don't know. You tell me. I gotta. Just tell me what is it?
It's a Hellcat Redeye.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Oh.
You're watching Throttle House. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James. And today we have the 2019 Camaro ZL1.
And the 2019 Hellcat Redeye.
The 2019 Camaro ZL1. Thankfully, the ZL1 didn't get the 2019 facelift that has befallen its V8 siblings, and so here it sits as stunning as ever, kicking out 650 horsepower and an equal number in torque. By the numbers, this rear-wheel drive supercharged monster laughs at the price tag of some supercars and can outperform them on track before it's even had its breakfast. This thing has 11 heat exchangers. That's one more than a Bugatti Veyron. Ultimately, it should be enough to make even the topmost challenger Dodge has to offer flinch.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the sound of 800 horsepower. Okay, it's 797, but that's still 80 more than the standard Hellcat, and 147 more than the ZL1. Now I'm sure you've heard of the Dodge Demon, the game-changing drag car. Well, since every Dodge Demon is now spoken for, Dodge took the V8 from it, 2.7-liter supercharger and all, and plopped it in this with the Demon's 8-speed auto and driveline goodies. Say hello to the Hellcat Redeye. A slight engine recalibration and change of airflow means it doesn't quite make the Demon's numbers, but it's still a wolf in wolf's clothing. Dodge claims a 10.8-second quarter mile, and yet this is a more corner-friendly car than the Demon, with bigger brakes, stiffer suspension, and standard 3-mode SRT-tuned Bilstein dampers on all corners. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and hit the bell so you get notified as soon as our videos come out. And for extra content and behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram at The Throttle House.
All right, 2019 ZL1. This thing's an absolute beast. So this has the 6.2-litre V8 from the Z06. So this thing doesn't mess around. And I know that ZL1s sound good on a normal day, but this has a cobalt exhaust. And it is louder than hell. I can't even smile when I do it because the fear keeps my mouth shut. So this thing is nuts. It's 3.5 seconds to 60 miles an hour, and this can do a quarter mile in 11.4, I think. It takes barely a press on the pedal for this car to lose its composure. But I have an electronic limited slip differential which helps me put the power down, and I can see where it's diverting torque on my screen by looking at the metrics in front of me.
To launch, press brake and quickly apply full throttle. Okay, didn't like that. Let's try that again. Oh my God. Insane is the only word you can use to describe the way this thing pulls away. Okay, so it is supercharged, obviously. It makes an incredible whine, but outside, it actually makes a fantastic V8 noise as well. It idles kind of like it's cammed out. This is the Redeye, which means that it is kind of like the Demon wide body, but it doesn't have all of the things that make it specifically a drag car. It is actually set up a little bit more for corners than you'd think it would be.
So I've been driving this around in touring mode, and the ride is surprisingly soft. Like, I know you can get a 1LE package for this, and that makes it a lot harsher. A lot of the people buying ZL1s don't get the 1LE, so that it's a much more livable car. And I can say, having driven the 1LE 4-cylinder for the last week, This is softer. But when you want things to get a little bit hairy, you can just switch it to manual mode, and you got the shifters. Oh. There's going to be a theme today of how does this cost what it does.
We're going to put it in manual mode, and I'm going to shift with these paddles, which are a little bit phallic shaped. And what I can tell you is that there is essentially no point that you can put your foot all the way down. You just can't do it, because you'll just spin the tires. In 5th gear, you'll spin the tires. This has a catastrophic amount of power, and it sounds insane. It has an open air intake, so you can hear that supercharger whine, and it sounds unbelievably good. I'm starting off with the engine because it is the pièce de résistance of this car. It is the reason you buy it. That Hellcat engine, which is like a detuned version of the Demon engine, only by a little bit, is one of the most special power plants that you can buy today, period. All right, another thing that I have to say is that it overwhelms its traction control. When you saw me there sawing away at the wheel trying to keep it in a straight line, the traction control is on. It can't possibly hold those wheels back. It's incredible. It's an incredible engine. I actually have a little gauge here that reads out my horsepower in real time, so I can keep track of all of the cars that I'm more powerful than as I accelerate. Ready? That's a Miata GTI Type R M2 James ZL1, and that's probably a good time to slow down, actually.
This is outfitted with the 10-speed auto, which the shifts are so good. A lot of people who have this car love it. You can get it with a manual, a 6-speed manual. You can also get the 1LE now with the manual, which is new for 2019. But the 10-speed is excellent, and I guess if you're making a commute or you're living in town, it's more livable. If you're going for track times, this is probably the transmission to get. And I get to do all of that while my bum is being served some soft, cold air. Unbelievable. Oh, this is a beast. This is a beast. I mean, if that's a Hellcat, I don't think ZL1 is a good enough name for this car. Yes, visibility is a thing, but you do get used to it. But new for 2019, because of the visibility, instead of a rear view mirror, I get like a rear view screen that's a camera pointing backwards. Lovely in theory, but in practice, on a sunny day like this, it is not working to my favor. I can see the reflection of the cars behind me in the actual screen, as well as the actual digital display. So it ends up being confused, and it's messing with my depth perception. It's kind of the same thing as trying one of the original virtual reality sets. I'm not liking it.
How does the rest of the car drive? Well, it is actually quite insulated, and it is quite comfortable. I find the ride to be fairly soft, even when you put it in the stiffest setting. Really cool. I push this SRT button down here, and I can adjust power. I can drop it to 500 horsepower if it's raining, which I did yesterday. The transmission, the paddle shifters, the traction control, suspension, and the steering. I can adjust all of those independently. So I like the steering in track mode, which actually makes it quite heavy, and it's fairly direct, and there's decent front end feedback. It's not awesome, but it's okay. And the suspension I keep in street because it's quite supple. In track mode, it stiffens it up quite a lot, actually. And when you do that, the car does stay fairly flat in the corners. It's still a gigantic muscle car, but it stays fairly flat in the corners.
Now, whilst this doesn't have the 1LE package, it still feels incredibly flat, and the handling is wonderful. So like the SS1LE we drove on track, the steering feels incredibly accurate and direct. I'm sorry if you can't hear me over that exhaust. It's obscene. I've got it in sport mode at the moment, so the steering is tighter, the throttle response is quicker, and the suspension is a lot stiffer. The magnetic dampers allow you to drive this car in plenty of different modes. I'm really getting on with the ride of this. In fact, I'm very worried that by the end of this review, I'm going to try and buy one.
The Camaro and the Mustang feel smaller and tighter and more sports car than they look. This doesn't. This still feels like a big muscle car, which makes it fun. If that's what you're looking for, it does that. And honestly, here, I'll put the suspension in track, and we're gonna go around a couple corners right now. It's pretty good. It's impressive. It is, for how big the car is. Like, it stays pretty flat, pretty planted in the corners. Honestly, you could do lapping in this car. You could go to the track. Like, it's not just for the drag strip. It feels buttoned down enough that it'd be a handful, but it would be really fun. But if you did take it to the drag strip, you'd be able to hit that quarter mile a couple of tenths quicker than James's ZL1 that he's in. And this has a top speed of over 200 miles an hour. That is just such a cool thing to be able to say. 200 miles an hour in a non-supercar.
Now, it only takes driving one of these things to realize how good that steering is. The front end feels incredible. This is sports car level stuff. Like, this is not, gone are the days of the muscle boat cars, unless you're in a Challenger, but we'll see what Thomas is saying. This feels like a proper sports car. I'm low, the steering feels direct. It communicates, it feels like an extension of yourself in the way that sports cars are supposed to.
Okay, so yes, I know that a lot of you are probably already writing a comment, or you just finished writing a comment saying that this should be a track comparison. And I agree with you, it should be, and I would love to do it. Unfortunately, we can't take this particular Hellcat Redeye on the track, but if you happen to own one and you live within driving distance of Toronto, let us know, and we'll bring your car to the track. Because as much as we want to just pick these cars off the menu and track them, everything you see, all the editing, all the planning is just the two of us, right? So bear with us. We're doing our absolute best to bring you the best content we possibly can. And yes, we would love to do a track test of these. So if you know a way, help us make it happen.
Oh, this car. 78 grand. What? A 4-cylinder Cayman S is more than this, and the performance is absurd. If you want to even get close to this performance, a Jaguar F-Type SVR is 575 horsepower, and it costs like $140,000. The only thing that I can think of that can match this in performance is a Hellcat. And maybe the GT500 if those numbers ever come out. Right now it's 700 plus at the time of filming, but we'll see. And I don't think the interior lets it down that much either, but I'm gonna go talk to Thomas about that now. Oh.
Well,
It's fast.
just wait.
And it looks better.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, so this is in satin steel.
Satin
It's a
steel.
new color for 2019.
It's really nice,
In the
actually.
flesh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
This has got some aftermarket wheels in it. The owner put them on. I agree with the decision. They're awesome.
They look fantastic, yes.
The normal ones are pretty good looking too, though. And then obviously this is the ZL1, so we get the more aggressive grille.
Yep, that's right.
And,
Is this a missing badge? What is this?
Yes, the badges on the normal ones are
Yes,
black.
it's missing?
It's not missing.
Intentionally
It's
missing.
intentionally missing for aero. And also the gold's starting to look dated. So
I
I'm glad
agree,
they did
that looks cool, yeah.
And then we have this carbon fiber hood.
This is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Is this extra?
It costs extra,
Okay.
but it's carbon fiber regardless, but they have it painted in black and you have to pay extra for it to be exposed.
So you have to pay extra for them to not paint it.
Yeah, but there are plenty of places, like if you go online, you have to pay for things to be exposed, you know?
Okay,
Tell me about the Hellcat.
We're talking about Challenger now. Okay, so this kind of looks like the Demon because it has like the wide body kit, right? Which honestly every Challenger should have because it makes the
But you
whole
can
thing
see
look.
these wheels are much wider, right?
They
The Demon
are-
has the skinny ones.
These are well, the really super skinny
Yeah,
ones for
for
the drag racing,
yeah.
right? But this has different setup entirely. It's more for going around corners. It also doesn't have the massive hood scoop that the Demon has. It has two nostrils.
Imagine how much better this would look in carbon fiber.
I agree
The
with the
black gloss is
better
picking
cover.
up-
But this, look at that deleted headlight
Yeah.
for air. That's my favorite part.
Is
I think
it?
it lights up. It's so cool. Also, I have a front splitter, and it's purple. It's ridiculous.
Is that the name of the color?
Yeah, purple.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it's purple.
It looks great. And the red eye. This is the difference, right?
Yes.
Stylistically.
Stylistically,
That's the only thing that
It-
tells
the-
you it's a red eye. It's like a subtle.
it is really, really neat. It's
emblem.
like a little jewel in there to
Yeah.
remind you. Let's do the interiors. Let's start with yours.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Inside of a Camaro ZL1.
The sunroof really helps, actually.
Sunroof is an added option.
Yes, and it's one that you should honestly add because it really, really brightens this up.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
I always, if I can opt for a sunroof, I will.
Yeah, yeah.
You haven't seen this in a while. We've been driving a lot of
A
manual.
lot of manuals
Camaros.
lately. Yeah. No, this
This is the 10-speed auto.
it's all Alcantara still, which is really nice.
Yeah, seats are Alcantara.
The door cards, this part here,
Yeah.
and the steering wheel.
The steering wheel's all Alcantara. Very nice. The spool diameter steering wheel that we keep going on about.
I know. I love it, honestly.
Yeah, the stupid screen that slants down.
This canted.
Which,
I don't
by
know
the way,
why.
I've had a week with the Camaro now with the 4-cylinder,
Yeah.
and I'm still not used to the fact that it slants down.
I know
don't
it is
care.
very,
Yeah.
very strange. I don't really know why they did that, but this is fairly intuitive, right? I like it how it's got apps, right?
It's fine.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
I still use CarPlay anyway.
Exactly, right? And that has the big screen in the center, which you can't get in the base Camaros, right?
No, it starts with the SSs.
And it tells you all the information you need to know.
Yeah, everything.
Temperatures,
it's
track,
great.
all the stuff.
And because this is a ZL1,
Yes.
we get ventilated and heated Recaros.
Ooh. And they say ZL1 on them in a nice little badge.
Which isn't as cool as the fact that it
very
cools your body down.
That's important.
With fans inside.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Other than that, it's a Camaro. It's actually decently spacious. The visibility is hilarious.
The visibility's Camaro.
But you get used to it. Like, honestly, all they had to do is just narrow that down.
Yeah,
Like,
this
bring
is still
that
chunky.
Yeah, bring that down, and then you'd have way more visibility. But I can see the carbon fiber hood from here.
And the back seats are usable if you don't value
if
your
you're
legs.
2'8".
No,
Yes.
no. Actually, the headroom's not bad. So, like, my girlfriend can fit, and she's 5 foot something.
Something.
Yeah, small people, and if you don't care about your legs, it has back seats.
I'm sorry. So it doesn't have back seats. And this is obviously hilarious.
Yeah.
Armrest.
It's a stupid
We
armrest.
won't dwell on that, but
Yeah.
it is absolutely ridiculous.
It's even harder with a broken wrist. All right.
Okay, Challenger.
Yeah.
Okay, at this point we usually both show you the interior of the other car, but one of our microphones betrayed us. So here's what you need to know. The interior of the Redeye is nice, but no nicer than the ZL1. It has a really cool gauge cluster that feeds you useful information about the car, and this is also where you can see your abysmal fuel economy. It also has a really cool steering wheel that feels nice with a light-up SRT badge. These extra buttons don't make it feel that premium though. This one has a $2,195 Laguna leather package, so some of the surfaces feel quite good. And the seats are actually very comfortable. The seating position's a bit high though. I found the infotainment easy to use and fairly quick to respond, but most importantly, it's where you control the excessive performance of the Redeye, so that makes it cool. Overall, it's a pretty nice place to be. So does it have the interior of a $117,000 Canadian car? Trick question, doesn't matter, 797 horsepower.
Okay. Yeah, this has very much the same personality as the ZL1 when you put your foot down. Both these cars are personified by their engines. And Thomas has left this for me in track mode, so this steering is particularly heavy and stiff right now, which is nice. I feel accurate with it. The seating position is much higher, and it feels, this is a big car.
All right, the ZL1. Oh my good God. What on earth? What? Okay, so this is just as scary as the Redeye. If you're, oh my God. What? So by the way, that was 4th gear, and I just lost the rear end a little bit.
Wow, okay. I don't know whether it's something to do with the tires or not, but I feel more confident putting the power down in this than I did in the ZL1. So in a way, this is less scary. Okay, taking it into a turn. Oh, I feel so much bigger. So much bigger. It's actually pretty flat, but you can just feel the weight transfer of the car. I'm more worried going into a corner. Less confident, I would say.
Oh my God. All right, so I'm in track mode right now, and the steering is still excellent. The front end grip is incredible. Like the chassis of this car is so well designed. This platform is such a win for Chevy, and it keeps winning me over and over again.
Okay, so this is bigger, it's got a bigger engine, it's more powerful, it's more spacious inside in the cabin. The trunk is bigger, there's more utility to this. But at the same time, like if you're not taking it to a drag strip, put it this way, a normal Hellcat is like 78 grand. The sticker price for this is 117,000 Canadian. That puts it in the territory of some really awesome cars. And given that that Camaro is $78,000 as is, it's an absolute no-brainer. If you're not hitting the drag strip and you want to drive in a sporty car, for me, it's a no-brainer. ZL1.
This is a beast of a car. It's a genuine, it's very, very special. Both of these are actually. There aren't that many cars nowadays that you can, a normal human could conceivably afford, that actually generate this much power, excitement, fear on a daily basis. These cars might be the last generations of what they are, and they're just really, really special. If you can afford to buy either of these, do it. If I was going to buy one, I'd buy the ZL1. It's just more of a sports car with all of the extra fear and excitement you get from the Hellcat.
The supercharger whine in this is excellent. Like, you know, given all the things I said, if you want something really special and you want to win every conversation about horsepower at the bar, it's special and it's big and it's purple. Buying this car is like going on Amazon and drunkenly buying one of those things that sprays your bum so you haven't got a wipe. In the morning you wake up and it arrives, you're like, what did I do? But then you never go back.
So there we have it. The ZL1 is a shocking amount of performance in an incredibly well priced package, and those that are or have been able to secure an allocation are in for a treat. The Redeye 2, whilst pricey, has been touched with the same special fairy dust, and you need only to feather the throttle to experience happy thoughts and fly away. Even in the OK officer, I'll be good 500 horsepower mode. More importantly, both cars make for an adrenaline hangover, which is just code for an ear-to-ear grin. Thanks for watching.